here we are on 32nd Street and Park Avenue South. One of my first successful sales jobs was right here on that street. And I was selling subscriptions to the New York Times on the telephone. And I was one of the top 10 salesmen in this professional telemarketing company in New York City. I was one of the top 10 salesmen because what happened was I found this neighborhood in Connecticut that never had been able to get delivery of the New York Times. And I started calling these people and they're like, are you sure you can deliver here? Because we've never been able to get delivery here. I'm like, oh, I'm positive we can get. And they're like, you better check with your supervisor. I'm like, they say that they can't get delivery there. Can we deliver it there? We can deliver it there. Sell it to them. So I sold up, I was 17. So I sold everyone in this whole neighborhood the New York Times subscription. And wow, that was good.
And that makes you better. It's just that easy.
See, that was the apartment that I grew up in on the 18th floor of that building right there. I lived there from 1972 until I went away to college in 1983 to the Wharton Business School. And gosh, now I live over there, and there's so much of me in this neighborhood, it blows my mind. For example, over there, Mike's Pizza, that used to be a flower shop called Amazona's Florist. And when I was 12 years old, I saw a sign in the window, it said, delivery boy wanted, and I became a delivery boy there. That wasn't my first job, but that was my first job in this neighborhood. From that place there, you can't quite see it, but behind that bus is a dry cleaning store called Empire Dry Cleaners. And when I was 13, I started delivering dry cleaning in that store, and I became the assistant manager of that store. And I also was mugged my first 2 times delivering dry cleaning for that store. This neighborhood, New York City, is a nice place now. It's an urban renaissance thanks to Giuliani. But when I was growing up here, this was Urban Blight. In fact, the name of my high school band was Urban Blight. And then after that, over in that beauty parlor right there, Fountainhead Cafe. Now, for those of you who are literate and have read The Fountainhead or Ayn Rand's other book, Atlas Shrugged, that was her big book, that little cafe had a huge impact on my life. I started out washing dishes. The guy goes, do you know how to wash dishes? I said, yeah. He goes, where have you washed dishes before? I said, in my mother's kitchen. And I was hired on the spot. I started working in there on the spot. Then I became a prep cook, and then I became a busboy, and then I became a waiter. I worked there every weekend all through high school. I always had money because I always made $200 every weekend working in the Fountainhead Cafe. It is so great to be back in my hometown because I'm a native New Yorker. All right, today we are doing some hooing. We're doing some whale hunting and some hooing. And my genius mentor, Dan Kennedy, says that who is more important than what. And the first who is who has the money to pay you what you want to earn. And that's what we're doing today. The event that we're going to is an event that I went to for the first time back in the spring when I met this lady who runs a giant hedge fund, she runs a private office. I met this lady who runs a private office for a family. These are families who have 25 million, 100 million, 50 million, $1 billion. And they go to this club called the Family Office Club. And through that club, I got invited to one of these events for the Financial Policy Council. And today I'm going to be on a panel talking about personal branding at the Financial Policy Council with my new buddy, Ziad. Ziad is the guy who runs the Financial Policy Council. And one of our clients, David Roy Newby, told me that Ziad is the real thing and has mucho dinero. Well, you know, I'm just looking for the real thing. There's so much stuff in the world that's not the real thing, and I tell my clients, you know, you're lucky you got with us because you're a discerning buyer and you saw that we're the real thing. Not everybody is the real thing. So when we get there, there's going to be a lot of wealthy executives, and we're going to Allie, you're going to put these magazines on all the chairs in the auditorium. We're going to some like city college auditorium.
Okay. And I'm allowed to put them on the on the chairs?
This is our event.
Okay, good. Okay, I just want to make sure.
This is our event.
Okay.
That's cool. See, I believe it's all about standing out, see? It's all about how you're going to stand out. And one of my clients had her picture on a jumbotron above an escalator in a shopping mall, and I thought that was really cool, and I wanted to take it a step further.
What brought you here today? What do you know about the background, and what do you hope to have at this event?
I really came here because I wanted to get to know Ziad better. And I met him at one of these events a couple of months ago. I was introduced to him by a friend of mine who runs a family office, and he seemed like a player, and I wanted to play in his world, and that's why I'm here. He has a very opinionated personality.
I'm not interested to go at any conference, listen to any idiot, unless I'm the speaker myself.
And he's very strong, and I believe along the lines of a lot of what he talks about. However, the first thing he ever talked about with me was skin in the game, having skin in the game. And I believe that that is really an important part for anybody to make a difference in this world. If you don't have skin in the game, you can't make a difference in this world.
How important is authentic information?
I always talk about how clients have to be discerning buyers. There is a lot of BS in the marketplace, and there's a lot of people who can talk a good game about what they do and sell you into stuff, but buyers really need to be careful about the information that they consume and the products and services that they buy. So authenticity is key. Now with that said, this is a panel on personal branding and creating a bigger image of who you are in the eyes of customers and prospects. And that can be used for evil purposes, I know, but I'm always looking for clients who are going to assure me that they're only going to use the powers that I give them for the purposes of good.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
I had to see what my questions were. These are my questions that I asked him to ask me. What's the difference between being famous and being a celebrity entrepreneur? What do you consider to be the most successful celebrity entrepreneur in history that you know? What are the main tools of celebrity entrepreneurship? And what's the most misunderstood celebrity marketing asset? That's celebrity attachment photos, photos with famous people. People don't understand how valuable those assets are. People from social media, you know, people come up to you that know you from social media and you don't really know who they are. They know you. It's a very interesting thing.
So, first, I'd like to introduce Clint Author, President and CEO of Clint Author. Clint. What is really branding, according to each one of you? If you could define it as specifically as you can from your own perspective. You guys have 4 different backgrounds.
I work with a lot of financial advisors, and many of my clients compete in an arena where they sell the same products or very similar products to other financial advisors. It's the nature of competition today in America. There's a lot of similar out there. And when you're selling products that are similar or equivalent to your competition, the only thing that's different is who you are. That's your brand. And you need to create an image in the mind of your customers and prospects of who you are as being higher status than your competition and somewhat different. And that is the heart of personal branding, or branding in itself is just who you are.
Thank you.
I just want to touch briefly on this issue of better, because what is really better? It's a very subjective thing.
Yes.
It's very difficult, and you're thinking, oh, well, it's easy for you to say you have to be different and better, but how do you really be better? Well, you just use the 5 things. You go on TV to create the perception of fame. You become a best-selling author, which is easy. You win awards, which is doable. You speak at important places, which is doable. And you get photos with famous people to get that
Excellent.
luster. And that makes you better. It's just that easy.
That's a strategy.
Yeah.
That's pretty unique, yeah.
I spoke at the USC Entrepreneurship Department, and they have the most genius logo of anything in the world. It's a circle made up of red dots, and then there's one red dot that's outside and slightly higher than the rest of the circle. Genius, genius. That's how you succeed as an entrepreneur, and that's how you succeed in business. You have to be different and better than all the other people. I asked Mike Tyson, "Champ, what's the most important thing you ever learned?" He said, "Stay humble." And it's really true, because a lot of people think that the game that we're playing is about ego, and it is not about ego at all. It's only about marketing. That's all it's about. And this is a innovative way to market yourself and your company by getting earned media or other types of media, paid media. But there's a common denominator in all of it, in that when you are the face of a business, either as an entrepreneur or as the CEO of a company, you have to start putting marketing assets out into the world. And a lot of times it's video, whether it be TV appearances or speeches that you make or marketing videos that you shoot on purpose. You're going to have to put stuff out there, information for people to consume, to learn about your stuff. And when you are the CEO of a company, you really have to take that marketing into your own personal control. And a lot of times the most effective, passionate, cost-effective messenger to put the message out there is the CEO or the entrepreneur themselves, because they have the burning passion. And really a lot of times it's that burning passion that makes all the difference.
So who do you consider to be the most successful celebrity entrepreneur you know of?
Well, obviously, Donald Trump is a hugely successful celebrity.
Both famous and celebrity.
Yeah, he really figured out the game, 100%. Getting paid $1 million just to show up and speak for an hour.
Getting paid $5 million to put his name on a Trump building. That's a hell of a brand.
The guy really has it all figured out. He really is. However, you don't have to be Donald Trump to be a successful or even amazing celebrity entrepreneur. To me, and for a lot of people, they don't want the fame. And that's the drawback of celebrity entrepreneurship, is that they think that you have to become famous in order to be a celebrity entrepreneur, and it's just not true. My favorite example of a celebrity entrepreneur is a man named Arnold Kopelson. Anybody ever hear of Arnold Kopelson?
I don't know.
You know who he is. He produced a movie that you might have seen called Platoon. Anybody see Platoon? Yeah? Okay, that made him a celebrity entrepreneur. They gave him an Academy Award, they put him on television, he started hanging out with all the big celebrities, and he had best-selling movies. He used celebrity entrepreneurship from then. See, nobody knows who he is, he's not famous. But to his target market, he's a real celebrity, or was. Unfortunately, he just passed away a couple of weeks ago. And I was at his funeral. And he produced 29 feature films with every major movie star in Hollywood. He was the king of Hollywood for the 90s and all throughout the 2000s. He produced movies with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Michael Douglas, Keanu Reeves. He produced Seven with Brad Pitt. He produced The Fugitive with Harrison Ford. $3 billion worth of movies. And nobody knows who he is. The only people who knew who he was 25 movie stars and their managers and agents, 10 studio heads. Total it up, probably 100 people thought that he was somebody. But that's the essence of celebrity entrepreneurship. Your target market thinks that you are the god.
Thank you very much, guys, for coming.
Thank you. Good stuff. Thank you. That's going to wrap it up from the Financial Policy Council and the world of Ziad. I had a lot of fun. I really have never been on a panel before. Allie, come here. Do you think that I did good on that panel?
You did awesome.
I mean, I told stories. Here's what I really enjoyed about it. I told stories. I injected storytelling into a lot of my answers. And I did celebrity impersonations. And I talked about being on TV. And I also really connected with people in the audience and like was talking to people, not just talking to an audience. And that's really important. And
one other important thing is the 5 things that they could learn. I mean, you really taught them things
I really
that they
did.
could really take away.
I did.
And you added, the story is such an important thing because people will remember the information when they think of it through a story.
Yeah, it's got to be in story. Story's everything. And wow, so much fun. And now?
Yay, we're off to dinner!
Yay!
Yay!